Hello, everybody. Keith Andrews coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. Got a great event going on this evening. It's a reception that is a forward to what we're doing tomorrow in Nashville. We call it a Commercial Mastermind Summit. I am one of the hosts, and my compadre Paul Zorich is the other host on this. And we are this evening talking to some of our speakers that'll be there tomorrow. And I have the great pleasure of Mr. Tommy Brackey coming all the way in from Dallas, Texas, to join us as a great speaker. And the topic he's going to be talking about is pretty fascinating. So today, I'm going to talk about what he does and how that affects the economic development piece of the economy, and how EXP Commercial and the economic development coordinators, developers, whatever they call themselves, the gurus of the counties or the cities, that's their job. How we can introduce them to this product or how this product interchanges with them. Okay. So Tommy Brackey, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Sure.
And start from the beginning. Your investment tool that was created back in the 1920s. This is what we're talking about. Go for it.
That's right. Yeah. What Keith is referring to is
wait. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
That's right. I'm Tommy Brackey. I'm with been with EXP Commercial since February. I serve a very niche subset of the real estate space, and what I'm referring to is mineral rights. Little context there. Most of my properties that I am involved with are in West Texas, the Permian Basin. So those are oil and gas based, under the biggest players in that industry, like Exxon and Chevron. But the reason it ties into the topic is what you were alluding to. It's these days, and since the 1950s, 1954, if I'm going off of memory correctly, it was kind of renamed to the 1031 exchange because it became section 1031. But what you brought up initially, it started off in 1920s, I believe 1921.
And this was before we had the IRS code.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So the IRS code is based off of what they were doing in the 20s.
There you go.
Yes. So it kind of gave you an out of chronological history lesson there. But in 1921, and this is a loose paraphrasing, but essentially what you were seeing was you had farmers that would be wanting to trade their farm for someone else's farm for whatever reason. But they were kind of had their hands tied because it came with a heavy tax burden to do so, even though they're not realizing profits.
Oh, wait, in the 20s, there was taxes?
Right? Who was doing that?
Yeah.
But joking aside, it was choking the local economies and the farmers.
Okay.
Right. So that ties into the economic development piece.
Yes.
So I believe it was called the Revenue Act of 1921, that kind of, for lack of a better phrasing, exempted the capital gains tax if you swapped the properties for equal or near equal value.
Okay.
Right? There's more to it than that. There's more nuance, but generally speaking, that's how that was that became permitted, if you will, in 1921.
Yeah, so now you fast forward to 50s, 1950s.
54, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it becomes kind of codified in the Internal Revenue Code in section 1031, which is where it gets its name today as the 1031 exchange.
Okay.
But since then, the rules surrounding the 1031 exchange have kind of evolved or morphed, if you will. You used to be allowed to do personal property in a 1031 exchange, like a boat or a private jet, or equipment. But the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, if you fast forward all the way to 2017, they made it to where it can only apply to real property, right? So essentially investment properties.
Okay.
For the most part.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that applies to almost all commercial real estate.
Right. Right.
Tie it all in.
Right. So a question for you. I just thought about it and it just left me. It had to do with, golly, what was I thinking? I just went blank, Tommy. It's something you said and I was going to jump on it.
1031s, real property, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Man, I've gone blank. Go ahead.
It's all right.
So let's just think about the economic development. You said it stymied the local economies.
Yes.
How does it help a local municipality or economy now?
Right.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the more volume you have, the more property and funds that you have changing hands, it's a wheel in the machine of the local economy.
Okay.
So permitting and even encouraging this type of swapping, if you will, while it does defer capital gains, it encourages local real estate transactions to occur. So people can now build or use a property that might be vacant, or build on land that might be otherwise, for lack of a better term, maybe landlocked in the sense, or handcuffed might be a better term, because the owner of that property doesn't want to sell it because they don't want to get hit with the capital gains hit.
Right.
But if you're going to allow them to swap that property in a tax advantaged manner where they don't get hit so hard, especially from a capital gains perspective, to somebody else that is willing to develop that raw land,
Right.
or to occupy that vacant warehouse.
Right.
Now that's going to lead a trickle down effect throughout all the surrounding local economies.
But you made a comment in the beginning that you have this special niche and it's about mineral rights.
Yes.
How does that play in the 1031 world?
Great question.
Yeah.
Most people don't know what a 1031 is in the first place. So it's already niche knowledge.
Right.
But within that is another subset of further niche knowledge of mineral rights being compatible. Now, mineral rights aren't your common sense flavor of real estate, right?
Right.
But it's still part of that bundle of sticks that they describe it as in real estate school. You have air rights as well. That's not my expertise, but it's part of it.
Right.
But what we're talking about is the subsurface mineral rights. Now, that's not exclusively oil and gas. It can be other minerals like lithium, uranium, etc. But it's real property because it's deeded real estate. You get a separate deed to the mineral rights on properties.
That's right.
It can be part of a singular deed for your surface estate as well, but oftentimes these days it's severed. So you might own the building, like where we're filming this podcast,
And the dirt.
and you might own the dirt.
Yeah.
Or someone else might own the subsurface dirt.
The subsurface.
That's right.
But I can own the top.
That's correct.
It never had possession of what's underneath it.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. And I believe this is true in all states, but I can at least speak to Texas. The mineral estate is actually the dominant estate of all real estate. So think of it this way, and this might be more information than your listeners need, but
no, man, we're talking about economic growth and economic development.
And the way that it works is you can't stop the Exxons or the Chevrons of the world from accessing what the mineral rights owners own, which is going to then spur the energy space,
right,
if you will, which obviously permeates into every aspect of economies, local and nationally, and candidly globally.
So Tommy, what is so unique about, let's say, okay, I've got capital gains and I need to identify property in a certain time frame and close on it in a certain time frame. And if I had debt, I got to bring that with me as well.
That's right.
And I got to, and I'm going to close on these properties, but I am not going to find something that is exactly $4,238,344.
Right.
That I'm trying to, move forward and not pay capital gains. Exactly. I can only find a $4 million building. Now what?
Exactly. And to answer that question, I guess I'll wrap up the previous one is, since it's mineral rights are deeded real estate, they are therefore 1031 exchange compatible.
That's right.
Right. It might defy common sense, but that's the way the Internal Revenue Code identifies it, because it's deeded real estate for investment purposes.
Yes.
So to tie it into your question, is you will have, let's use some round numbers. I'll paint a picture.
Okay.
You might have in the commercial space a $20 million 1031 exchange. You might have identified a replacement property or properties, because you can't identify more than one. Let's just make it $17.9 million.
There you go.
You now have what's referred to as boot money of $2.1 million left over in that exchange, right? You might not be able to find a property in the commercial space, depending on what your niche is, that is valued at $2.1 million and say 10 cents. That's where I can come in and provide value to the commercial folks. This applies for residential as well. But I can deed down to the penny in the mineral rights asset class.
Wow.
You can't do that in traditional real estate. So
that's huge.
Yeah, I never have the conversation to try to talk somebody out of their replacement property they've already identified. Right. I always divert my attention to the boot money, because you don't want to get hit with the capital gains taxes on that unless you have another strategic reason to do so.
For lack of better terms and the lack of time here,
I understand.
How's it liquid? I do that.
Yes.
I'm going to give you my $348,232. Then what?
Yeah. So if you want to, divest it or sell it, it's technically real estate is not liquid, but there is a very robust secondary marketplace for that. I have my own bias. I would encourage you to come to me, but there are other avenues like the U.S. Mineral Exchange and stuff like that. So there's an active marketplace.
All right. Well, this is great.
And one final point I'll leave you with is you can 1031 in, you can also 1031 back out, back into what I call traditional real estate.
Right.
So sometimes I'm a parking place or a safety net for these commercial folks. So they might be like,
Yes.
well, this is outside of my wheelhouse, but I can park it here and then 1031 out back into a Starbucks or an office building in a year or two.
Okay, here's a crazy question because I think of things,
Sure.
and I'm sure it's going to help people that are watching.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about a municipality. Can they do this?
Yes, they can.
Ooh.
Yes. And I haven't personally transacted in this. It's something that I'm willing and able to have the conversation about. But in theory, municipality could acquire these mineral rights, 1031 or not, and have it supplement like a pension fund, or have it supplement a pet project for a city or a local economic development
Because
project.
there is a return on basically their investment,
That's
an actual return on investment.
Monthly. Directly from
There
the
you
light.
go.
It's royalty payments.
That's fantastic.
Directly from Exxon or Chevron or whoever the operator is or driller, for layman's terms.
One last word, anything, Tommy? I really appreciate you answering these questions.
Yeah. Looking forward to speaking at the EXP commercial event tomorrow here in Nashville. Nashville's actually on paper my hometown. I was born here, but I grew up in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
But feel free to reach out to me. If you have any questions about mineral rights, 1031s or economic development associated with it.
Yeah.
Bettercalltommy.com actually gets you right to my calendars.
Bettercalltom.com.
Bettercalltommy.com.
Bettercalltommy, TOMMY.com.
That's me.
That's a pretty cool website.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Well, thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming
Always a
out.
pleasure to see you.
All right. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you, everybody.